Hey everybody, this is Robert Burke. Welcome to episode number 21 of When to Play. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about an award-winning game. This is a game that won the Spiel des Jahres back in last year in 2012 by an award-winning designer, Donald X. Vaccarino. So Donald is also the designer of Dominion. So if you like Dominion, then this is probably something you want to check out. No, it might not be something you want to check out. It's not like Dominion at all. So hopefully in this review, I can kind of give you a sense of what Kingdom Builder is, what kind of player it's good for, and what kind of player it's not good for. And my hope is that that will help you decide whether Kingdom Builder is something that's good for you. So Kingdom Builder, what is Kingdom Builder? This is an award-winning game. It has been all the rage. Is it worth it? I can tell you for me, in its physical form, I do not own Kingdom Builder. I've played the board game, the physical board game, a few times, but I've played it on my iPad a lot more. So I've got this iPad app, I don't know if you can see that, and I love to play Kingdom Builder on my iPad. In a social environment where I'm playing a board game with real live other human beings in front of me, Kingdom Builder falls flat. I would much rather play something else than Kingdom Builder. But that's just me. So for me, I like games that drive interaction. I like games where I can sit with the people I like to be around and have a good time and laugh and banter, and I like situations that happen in different board games that drive that interaction. Kingdom Builder is not that. It looks like it is a Euro game. If you look at the box, you look at the components, it looks like a Euro game, or maybe a fantasy-themed game. Or maybe even a war game with the hexes that come on the board. It's not. It's an abstract strategy game with a fantasy theme laid on top of it. So that's the first thing you have to know. It's not what it might seem by its packaging. Now, with that being said, if you like abstract strategy games, this is a great one. And I think it does deserve an award. I'm not going to say what award I think it deserves or if it deserves the very top award that is given out in board gaming. That's really a matter of opinion. But for what it is, it's a great game. So hopefully I can explain to you how it works and you can decide if it's something you think you would enjoy. So in Kingdom Builder, the goal of the game is to score the most victory points. You are going to lay out 4 tiles, large tiles that have hexes on them that make up the game board. The boards that come in the game are double-sided, so it gives you a lot of variance on what the game board is going to look like. Also at the beginning of the game, you are going to draw 3 random cards. These cards are going to tell you how you can score bonus points at the end of the game. So that really helps with replayability because every game is going to be a little different based on the map that you're playing on and based on what your goals are, dependent on what cards you draw at the beginning. So that's a good thing. So what you're going to do on your turn is you're going to have a bunch of little wooden houses, and on your turn you're going to pull a card that's going to have one of the terrain types on the map. So you'll see there's different kinds of terrain. There's flower beds, there's grassland, there's mountains and rivers that you cannot place on unless you have a special tile that you can earn. There are, chasms, all different kinds of terrain tiles. And depending on what card you draw on your turn, it's going to tell you where you can place your houses. So if I draw a card with flowers on it, I have to place my houses in a flower bed. All right, and you get to place 3 houses on your turn. So back to the beginning of the game where you draw these cards, they're going to give you different bonus points at the end of the game. It might be, for example, the fisherman. That's going to score you a point for every hex you place a house on that is adjacent to a water hex. So you're going to want to, during the game, try to capture those spaces to score more points than your opponents. There's also cards that will say something like, for you're going to score a certain amount of points for every horizontal line on the board that you place at least one house on. So that means that you're going to try to draw a straight line down, vertically down the map, so that you have at least one house on every vertical line to maximize those points. Or you might score bonus points for every special space. You see these hexes, some have cities, some have different bonus tiles that you gain if you place next to them. You might have to place, connect those cities to score bonus points. So the game's always going to be different depending on what cards you draw at the beginning. So you've got these little special areas too. So there's cities on the map, and you are going to, if you place at least one of your houses next to a city, you're going to get 3 points for that city at the end of the game. So those are prime areas. Then there's also other little hexes that have certain tiles in them that if you place next to it, you'll get one of those tiles that you can use on future turns. You may, for example, get a boat tile. And if you get that, you can use that tile and flip it over on your turn, each turn, to move one of your houses that you've placed on the board onto a water space. Or it may let you place an extra house at the end of the line, a line of 3 houses that you've placed in a row. It might let you place another one. So those tiles that you can get are going to give you little benefits and bonuses to help you maximize the points you can score during the game. So very simple mechanic, very easy to understand, very easy to teach, but the strategy here is deep. Now the packaging of this, the components make it look like a Euro game. It's not a Euro game. It is a pure abstract strategy game that has this fantasy theme pasted on top. You're not going to really feel like you're really, building a kingdom. It is very, the houses are pieces you're trying to position the most efficient way possible based on what the card dictates you have to do every turn. Some people hate that. Some people hate the fact that they have to draw a card and that then they've got to do what one card says. They consider that very random. But it's really not, because you need to, on your turn, you can maximize where you're placing these houses with that in the back of your mind. That, okay, if I place here and I draw a desert card next turn, what am I going to have to do? Or if I draw a forest card, what am I going to have to do? So you can really maximize, you have to be able to maximize where your placements are if you hope to win this game. And there is a lot of levels of strategy in this game, but because of that, it is not an interactive or really a thematic game at all. It's a pure strategy game. The people who have the best strategy here are going to win. People who are even on strategy, it's going to come down to who gets the best cards when they need them. So if that is something that doesn't appeal to you, you probably want to stay away from Kingdom Builder. For me, it's not something I want to play with a group of people, as I said, but on my iPad, I love playing this game because I can just focus on the strategy, right? Like a game of chess. What's my best move? How is my move this turn going to impact my move next turn or the turn after that? I can't do what I want to do this turn because of the card I drew, but maybe I can use my placement now to block my opponent to keep them from getting points, since I can't help myself. If you can do neither of those things, you're kind of hosed and you just got to place, anywhere. So it's a game that has a lot of deep strategy in it, and if you like strategy games, this is something you really need to try. If you like low player interaction, if you like games like chess where you have to think ahead, it's definitely a great game that you need to try. So here are some people that have rated Kingdom Builder, their comments of folks that have rated it a 1. Very, very poorly. So Pierre says, boring and poor. Some cards have a big unbalance. With one of the cards, the difference between the person who gained more points and the person who gained less was only 2 points. Trying to collect the points of this card was completely a waste of time. So on the other hand, we have Inga. Inga says, I just love that game. Who says it has no choices and it's too random? There are lots of choices, and you have to think very clearly where to build and what's going to happen. Yes, the game has random elements, but which game doesn't? For my opinion, it only makes those choices harder. Very good game. So that's really the crux of the issue. If you are a strategy gamer who doesn't like any random elements in a game at all, then this might not be your favorite choice, your favorite game that you could pick from. If, however, you like strategy games where part of the strategy is controlling the random elements in the game and planning for the random elements in the game, then you're going to like this game. If you like a lot of player interaction, forget about it. Kingdom Builder is not that. This is a pure strategy game, very low to non-existent player interaction. So hopefully this review has helped you. And if Kingdom Builder sounds like something you would enjoy in your group, then buy the physical game. If you're like me and tend to play tabletop games for more player interaction with your friends or with your game group, then Kingdom Builder is probably not something you want to buy to play in those situations. If you do like strategy games, though, but like me, like interactive games more, then I would recommend the iPad version because it's something you can play on your own very quickly, and it will really get your brain working. So it's very good, and it's a lot less expensive than buying the physical version of the game, obviously. But if your group is a group that likes strategy games where there's not a lot of player interaction, where each player is really thinking through their moves, and you enjoy that kind of thing, then I do recommend the physical board game Kingdom Builder. So hopefully this review has helped you, and either way, however you use the game, I hope you enjoy it, and thanks for watching.